You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Good evening. You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. It's not 6 o'clock yet, but I'm going to come on. You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to be talking with Dr. Julia Malvo shortly. She's getting ready to get her on the line. And our guest is also going to be Shelore Williams. Romans 8:28. I just have to go to the scripture now. Romans 8:28 said, and I know that all things work together for the good to them who love God and who are the called according to his purpose. Dr.
Absolutely.
Julia?
I'm here.
All right, good. I see the blue screen on now. Go ahead, Dr. Julia. I done talked enough.
Well, politics. Congress, literally, according to the published schedule, they're only supposed to be in session for one more week, just next week. They're supposed to go on recess on the 10th. That's not going to happen. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that if we don't raise the debt ceiling by December 15th, we run out of money. And if we run out of money, that means we might go into a recession. We'll be defaulting on our debt. And so the Congress has passed something to take us through February, but the Senate now has to go along with it. And, we have that mansion and we have that cinema. And so there are going to be some challenges. But the economic news is not great, not only because of that, but also because what we see with the unemployment rate is that the unemployment rate went down a little bit. The white unemployment rate is 3.7, black is 6.7. But we know that is an underestimate for black. For black men, it's 7.3. For black women, 5. And we know, again, that that's an underestimate. Here's the bad news. Only 210,000 new jobs were created. That's not very many jobs. And so economists have been predicting 400,000, 450,000. So we've underperformed, and this is even before this Omicron virus. Now, the Omicron virus is just like throwing a monkey wrench in the game, because the Omicron virus we already have about a dozen cases here in the United States. We've got 4 here in California, all over the country. Is it going to be as bad as the other viruses? We don't know, but we know it's a variation. We also know that fewer than 65% of all Americans have been vaccinated, and we know that all of these diseases are highly contagious. So we have a problem, and the labor market started acting up before Omicron, because the data that I'm reporting to you is data from the previous month. That will be the month of October. The November data looks at October, so this is before Omicron. We don't know what's going to happen, but I expect right here on my campus here at Cal State LA, we're talking about whether or not we're going to have more remote classes and all of that. We had already said we're coming back in January strong. Well, it doesn't look like it now. Meanwhile, the rest of the politics, Congress trying to go home. They want to have Christmas, but we want to have Christmas too, Congress.
That's right.
So why don't y'all do your work? They have 3 things on their agenda that they seem to be stuck on. One is the debt ceiling that I've already talked about. The other is the defense budget. Now, they will cut everything else, but they will raise the defense budget, but they haven't even dealt with that yet. So that needs to be dealt with before the end of the year. And then most importantly, President Biden's Build Back Better plan really needs to be passed. The presidents of historically black colleges and universities have issued a statement saying, come on now, do this Build Back Better, because there's money in Build Back Better for historically black colleges and universities, for infrastructure on those campuses and things like that. So they're urging, members of Congress are urging, in fact, on Tuesday there will be a march from Union Station to the Senate to urge the Senate to come on and pass Build Back Better. People are activated, motivated, but the Senate, of course, is going to take their time. They're going to try to make the Democrats look as bad as they can. They have so many things up their sleeve. President Biden wants to make sure that people can get the rapid test without paying for it. And he's put some money out there for that. And they said, no, they don't want to do that. The Republicans basically have decided they will put a monkey wrench in anything that the president wants to do. They're upset that the president wants to put $7 billion into bringing people from Afghanistan back here. the generals have asked him to do that because some of these Afghans have helped us when we were in Afghanistan. And again, they're basically resisting. So we can expect, Lyndia, every week it's just something else. We can expect another week of gridlock, and perhaps at the last minute we'll see some capitulation. But right now what we're seeing is the Democrats attempting to move forward with the exception of Manchin and Sinema. The Republicans trying to pull back. And there's so many pieces of this that are really challenging. The last thing I want to talk about, this particular case, I hope that we can get legislation for this. This young man who went and shot up the school in Michigan, his daddy bought him a gun for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And so the DA, the prosecutor has said not only is she going to prosecute the young man, but also his parents, because basically they gave a 15-year-old child access to a gun. They went to school with him, and he took the gun to school. I mean, this is a bold little boy. He took the gun to school in his backpack when he went to school with his parents. Mm-hmm. And so Congress is considering legislation that will make it possible to prosecute parents who provide access to a firearm to their children. And I think that's a great idea. I think it's really important.
Well, those two were hiding when I came home from school today.
They're hiding. They cannot be found. Their car cannot be found.
They know they're getting ready to go to jail.
Right. So they're hiding. You're absolutely right. So they're hiding. And then, of course, we have the Supreme. We could spend more time than you and I have today to talk about the Supreme Court and abortion. But what we know with the Supreme Court is that they are trying to reverse Roe versus Wade, the Mississippi law, 15 weeks. Here's my attitude about abortion. I'm a Christian just like you are and so many others. If you don't like abortion, don't have one. Mm-hmm. But don't try to deal with what other people do with their bodies. But in any case, what we know right now is that it's very likely that the Mississippi case Mississippi will win, and they'll start rolling Roe back. And this is a tragedy here in California. People are counting on at least 1 million women coming to this state to get their abortions from Arizona and contiguous states because they feel like the law is being challenged. So never a dull moment with politics these days. Never a dull moment.
I heard that.
Well, thank you so much, Lyndia. Always a pleasure.
And thank you, Dr. Julian. And we're sorry we lost a little bit of time, but you and Shelore, we've been on it together a lot, so we always work it out with you too. Thank you so much, Dr. Julian.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Well, you're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. We are going to say hello to Attorney Shelore Williams just to make sure we can connect with her so that we...
Hello, Lyndia.
All right. Great. Good. We can hear Shelore Williams. I kind of told them everything. I don't know if they heard me. I tried to tell them as much as I could about what you're going to be talking about today to get ready to call you so that they can get somebody a Christmas gift in their family who might need it when the time comes, and it's better for somebody to give it to them as a gift because they probably won't get it any other way. So
I've got an offer that they just cannot refuse.
All right. Well, we're going to go to our commercial break, and when we come back, you're going to hear about our Christmas show with Attorney Shelore Williams about wills and probate. She's a wills and probate lawyer. So back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus.
In lectures on brotherhood, Miss Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us. Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Well, welcome back, listeners. You all know Shelore, but I like to tell everybody she graduated from Georgetown University Law School, and she also was the chief of staff down at the city council. She's been an ANC commissioner, and she was the principal of a Catholic school before she went to be a lawyer. And now she's in court almost every week, winning cases, and even won the case for my son. She's a heck of a lawyer. She's made out of what lawyers need to do. I mean, it's just a gift. So this week she's going to be talking to you about some gift ideas. So, Shelore, I'm just going to turn it over to you because I want to make sure you can get this in.
Okay, let me just say that the law offices of W. Alton Lewis and Shelore and Kerry Williams gladly and willingly want to help people who want to help themselves and their family. We are located at 1450 Mercantile Lane, Suite 155, Largo, Maryland. My telephone number is 301-341-5577. Now, why did I give you all that information? It is because I want you to hear this gift. Just mentioning the Lyndia Grant show, you get one item free. What does that mean? A Christmas gift. I need a will. You get a will for yourself. You can get a will for somebody else. Get a simple will for yourself. You can get a simple will for your husband. Maybe I need a power of attorney. Get a power of attorney for yourself. You can get a power of attorney for someone else. 2 for the price of 1. The other thing is, why do you need these items now? You need these items now because we are in turmoil with these viruses, a different virus every 2 months. You know, I've had several people come into my office and tell me they are not going to be vaccinated. They're not going to. It's okay if you're not, because you can make a change and get your vaccination now, but they're not going to get vaccinated. So this is why we have to protect ourselves and our families. We know not the hour or the day that we may be in the hospital or for whatever item or problem outside of the virus. So I want you to know that don't be scared about the price of getting a will prepared for you, because I think you cannot beat this price. We are very reasonable, and Lyndia knows it, and I'm a person of my word. Yes. You mentioned the Lyndia Grant show. You get one item, you get another item free. Mm-hmm. Now, bear with me when I say the will have to be a simple will. Ask yourself, what is a simple will? A simple will is not a trust, because a trust can cost you $3,000 to $2,500 when you don't even need a trust. You just need a last will and testament, a durable power of attorney, and a healthcare power of attorney. And you can call 301-341-5577 and ask any questions you want about preparing a will. I'll be more than happy to give you some of that information. And sometimes you will say, well, I have a life insurance policy. What does that have to do with my last will and testament? If you have a life insurance policy and your life insurance policy names a beneficiary, it does not go through probate. The court does not bother with that item. But let's say you have a life insurance policy and you have not named any beneficiary. that life insurance policy has to go in what we call your estate account, which means it has funds in your estate account. And if you do not have a will to determine how those assets are distributed, then the state helps you distribute those assets, those funds. And I would love to talk to your listeners, Lyndia.
Please tell them what they would do with the possibilities. I'm listening because I want to know. What would they do with my money if I didn't designate?
If you don't designate, then it goes possibly to your. All right, if you're married and haven't got a divorce, it goes to your spouse. If you don't have a spouse, but you have children, you have 4 children, 2 children, 3 children, more than one child, it is divided among those children.
And the state will do it, is what you're saying?
That is the process of the law. Mm-hmm. The court will help the surviving heirs find or determine a personal representative, or what you call an executor. Now, suppose you want me to be your executor. If you haven't gotten a will to say Shelore is going to be the executor, then they will name your spouse that you have not divorced to be your executor, or your sister, or your child.
And it might be somebody that wants you turn over in your grave, but you can't do a thing about it.
You can't do one thing about it. And you should call me at 301-341-5577. And this gift, this is how important this gift is. This is till December 31st, because in January, in New Year's, I make a different gift. But this gift, buy one, get one free. Buy an estate document, get the same value of that estate document free. You can't beat that, Lyndia. Mm-hmm. You just cannot.
That's right.
And you also get consultation, and you get the patience of a person who will work with you and tell you the right way that you want to do. I can't tell you what to do. I can only put what you want in a document for you and ease your mind. Mm-hmm. Now, we know very quickly about the health care, let's say a living will or an advanced health care directive. With this pandemic going around with one virus after another, if you get hurt or if you get sick, you can't talk to the doctors. It is so important that you let somebody know who you trust to talk to the doctor. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how invaluable these documents are. Mm-hmm. They're for your own good. They're your words in writing. And the court will honor your word. Mm-hmm. If you don't write it down, the court can't honor your word. And as far as people not getting their vaccination, let me say this to you, Lyndia. I pray every day because I say, forgive them, Lord, for they do not know what they're doing.
Do. That's right. They don't. I understand.
They don't.
And I think all of us have people in our families that won't do it. And it's just
I got some in mind.
Me. Yes, I do too. It's just it's horrible.
So, Lyndia, anytime you want me to come in here before the end of this month, and just you remind them.
I will.
Buy one, get one free.
Okay,
anytime.
I will. I'll put it in
my. Call me.
I'll put it in for every week. So we're almost out of time.
Yes.
Of course, we lost some time earlier, but we're going to go ahead and end the show. And thank you so much, Mr. Shelore. You gave them a lot of good information. Let's tell them that phone number one more time.
Please call Shelore Williams at 301-341-5577. Make sure you say the Lyndia Grant Show.
All right. You won't get that buy one, get one free if you don't. Thank you so much, Shelore. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me, Lyndia. Anytime.
All right. Well, every week we get have a copy of our show on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel and click subscribe, and a copy of my show will show up in your YouTube. And then visit my church on Sundays. All Nations Baptist Church. We're open every Sunday now at 11 a.m. North Capitol and Rhode Island Avenue. Our pastor's Reverend Dr. James Coleman. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. And I want to also let you know that next week, my guest is going to be Reverend Dr. Zena Pierre. she's going to give a Christmas message. Pastor Pierre is the pastor of Bethel Restoration Church in Lanham, Maryland, and I look forward to having her on. We hope this show with attorney Shelore Williams has been helpful to you, talking about new wills, trust, and gifts. Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect, so be careful what you send out. Scripture says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So think on these things from the Lyndia Grant Show. I'm your host. Until next week, good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.